everybody, it's Missy again. Welcome to day 4 of our clean eating challenge. Today I want to talk a little bit about whole foods and making sure that whole foods are 70 to 80% of your clean eating diet. So when I say whole foods, I mean foods basically in their natural form. So if you were to go out and pick an apple off a tree and eat it, that is eating an apple in its whole form. It's as nature intended it. So in our society these days, almost everything is being processed. So getting away from focusing on processed foods and getting back to whole foods is what's going to get us healthy and give us the maximum amount of nutrition in our diet. So clean eating isn't just about weight loss, even though following these principles will give you weight loss. It really is about maximizing your nutrition, especially when you're trying to watch your calories. You want to make sure that you're getting as much nutrition in every bite, in every calorie that you can. And the way you do that is by focusing on eating whole foods. So that may kind of sound boring at first, but you got to remember that you're mixing these whole foods together to make meals. You're having a whole egg with an apple. You're having a whole egg mixed with veggies for breakfast in a scramble. So that's eating whole foods. It's just that they're mixed together. So when you make your list today of what you're eating, I want you to really go down that list and say, okay, what am I eating that's in its natural form? What of my foods is really a whole food? So the reason that you do that is basically because every time a whole food is taken and it's broken down in any way, you're going to lose parts of the nutrients from that food. So what it basically does is it fragments that food. It cuts it up into tiny little pieces and you're going to lose nutrients. So by eating foods that haven't been processed at all in their whole form, you're going to maximize your nutrition in every bite. So while we're on this topic, let's talk a little bit about what we call fractionated foods or processed foods, foods that have been broken down and made into other things. I know that in our busy lives, it's really hard to eat 100% whole foods. We are going to eat processed foods sometimes. We're going to eat bread. We're going to eat tortillas. We're going to buy those things that are convenient for our families. So what I want you to think about when you're making those choices is that you're really reading labels and you're really paying attention to what's in those processed foods. You can find things that are minimally processed. So I use the example of spaghetti sauce. I like to make my own spaghetti sauce, but sometimes I don't have the time. So I used to just buy the brand name spaghetti sauce and use that. But I realized that there's food coloring and there's sugar and there's all sorts of things in there that I didn't really want to be eating. So I found a different brand that literally has tomatoes, basil, olive oil, garlic, and oregano. That's all it has in it. It has 5 ingredients. So when you're going to buy a processed food and combine it with your whole foods like tortillas or bread or even yogurt, make sure that you look at those ingredients, look at the sugar content, look at where that sugar is coming from, look especially where the color is coming from, because a lot of times there's food dyes in your food. So just really get good at reading your labels and try to shoot for things that have 5 ingredients or less. So that would be what I would consider minimally processed. So as you post in the group today, give yourself a really good heart-to-heart about how much of your foods really are whole foods and see where you can make some small changes and see where you can improve. And that will make a huge difference in maximizing the amount of nutrients that you get in your diet every day. Even those small changes can make a really big difference. So that's my tip for today, and I'm excited to see all your posts.